Hello, church family. Welcome to day 6 of Harvest in Our Home. I am not Pastor Brittany Sassio, I'm his wife, and today I wanted to share with you what the Lord's been teaching me through this shelter at home mandate. Several years ago, the Lord took my family through a trial that has taught my heart truths from God's word that I believe prepared me for this time and maybe could be an encouragement to you. When I was pregnant with our third-born son, Micah, early on we knew that there was something wrong with him. The doctors thought he may not even survive till birth. But through supernatural work, the Lord healed him, and he was born without any problems. He was happy, he was healthy, and he lived with full vitality. Up until his 4th birthday, we had no reason to think that anything was wrong, when all of a sudden an ultrasound came back showing that he had a serious flaw and he needed surgery to fix it. Now, preparing our son for surgery was a difficult thing because he had no reason to believe that there was a problem. He never felt it nor saw it. He was healthy as far as he could tell. Why on earth were we going to do this? It was going to be painful. It was going to cost him a lot. Explaining to him in simple terms why he needed it wasn't helpful for him. And also explaining to him what was coming was scary. Like 6-inch incision, lots of pain. He was going to suffer for days and days and days with pain medication to recover. It wasn't something he could understand nor want for himself. It wasn't any of those answers that gave him hope and comfort. It was one simple reality, that mom and dad were going to be with him through it all. We would be there when he fell asleep at night, when he woke up in the morning. We would be there with him when he learned how to walk again and learned how to laugh without hurting himself. We promised to show up, and that did a great work to comfort him for what was coming. I think similarly, we as Christians, when we face trials, have a lot of questions. Why? How long will this last? Can we someday know that it will be worth it? And often we don't get the answers to those questions, but we do have the promise that God will be with us through it all. A lot of us are comfortable and familiar with Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. And we love that imagery, that promise of peace and comfort and hope. But verse 4 is a little bit tougher. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And here's the reason. For he is with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. That's the promise for us Christians. It's not necessarily in not going through the valley. It's not necessarily in understanding the whys and the whats of the valley. It's that his presence is with us through it all. And that ought to be a comfort to us. My son Micah knew that we loved him. He had a 4-year history that his parents always showed up for him and were faithful to make decisions for his good and for his best. And he knew that when he cried out in the middle of the night, would show up. How much more for us, who have a Father who is wise and all-knowing. We can rely on him to show up, we can remember his love for us, and we can cry out to him in prayer. Don't forget, you are loved.